Maya's hands trembled as she stared at the empty chair across from her again. Third blind date this month. Third time sitting alone like a fool. But just as she reached for her purse to leave, the restaurant door exploded open. Two identical little boys burst through, racing straight toward her table, their faces flushed and desperate. "Please don't go," one shouted. "Our daddy needs you," the other cried. Maya froze. What daddy? What was happening? Then she saw the crumpled note clutched in the smaller boy's fist, and her entire world tilted sideways. Before we dive into this story, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our heartfelt tales, and comment below with your city name. I want to see how far this story travels across the world. Now let me tell you what really happened that night. He's not coming. Maya said it out loud this time, her voice barely audible over the soft jazz playing through the restaurant speakers. She'd been whispering it to herself for the past 40 minutes, but saying it aloud made it real, made it final. The waiter appeared again. Marco, according to his name tag, with that practiced smile that somehow managed to be both sympathetic and professionally detached. "Another water, miss." "I'm fine." Maya forced her lips upward, that same nurse smile she'd perfected over 7 years of 12-hour shifts. The smile that said, everything's okay when nothing was. "Actually, could I get the check just for the wine?" "Of course." Marco's eyes flickered to the empty chair across from her, and Maya wanted to melt into the floor. How many times had he refilled her water glass? 4, 5. How many times had other diners glanced over their expressions, shifting from curiosity to pity? She pulled out her phone. No messages, no missed calls. Nothing from James M., except the same text from 3 hours ago. "See you at 7. Can't wait to finally meet." Finally. As if they'd been building toward this moment for months, instead of exchanging exactly 12 messages on a dating app her best friend had forced her to download. "You're 29, not 90, Sophia had said. "You spend all day taking care of sick people. When do you take care of yourself?" Never, apparently. Maya grabbed her wine glass and downed the last sip. The Chardonnay had gone warm bitter. Perfect metaphor for her love life. Around her, Portland's downtown restaurant scene hummed with Friday night energy. Couples leaned across tables, fingers intertwined. A man fed his girlfriend a bite of dessert, and she laughed, throwing her head back. At the bar, a group of friends clinked glasses, celebrating something. A promotion, an engagement, a life that was actually going somewhere. Maya had stopped going somewhere a long time ago. She just kept showing up to the hospital, kept saving lives, kept pretending that was enough. Her phone buzzed. Finally. But it wasn't James. It was Sophia. "How's it going?" "Is he cute?" Maya typed back. "He's invisible. Also not here." 3 dots appeared. Then, "What, are you serious, that asshole? I'm leaving." "Good. Come to my place. I have wine and rage." Maya smiled despite herself. She reached for her purse, ready to face the walk of shame past all these happy couples, when the restaurant's front door banged open so hard it slammed against the wall. Every head turned. 2 small boys stood in the entrance, identical down to their mismatched sneakers, one Spider-Man, one Batman. They couldn't have been older than 6 or 7, both breathing hard, like they'd just run a marathon. Their dark hair stuck up in wild directions, and their identical brown eyes scanned the restaurant with laser focus. Then, those eyes locked on Maya. "There!" the first boy shouted, pointing directly at her. "Go, go, go!" the second one yelled. They took off running, weaving between tables with the kind of reckless speed that made waiters jump back and diners gasp. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs. What was happening? Were they running from someone? Was she supposed to do something? The boys skidded to a stop at her table, both grabbing the edge to steady themselves. Up close, Maya could see they were crying, not sobbing, but tears streaked their flushed cheeks. Are you Miss Maya? The first boy gasped out. Maya's mouth opened, but no sound came. How did they know her name? You have to be Miss Maya, the second boy said urgently. You're wearing a blue dress, you have dark hair, you're pretty. He said you'd be pretty. Maya finally found her voice. Who said, "What's going on? Are you boys okay?" They exchanged a glance, some twin communication passing between them, and then the first boy thrust out his hand. Clutched in his small fist was a crumpled piece of paper torn from what looked like a prescription pad. Our daddy's sorry, he said. He's really, really sorry, the other added quickly. Maya took the note with trembling fingers and smoothed it open. The handwriting was messy, hurried slanting across the paper like someone had written it while moving. Miss Torres, I am so sorry. Emergency case came in. Multi-car accident. Critical. I couldn't leave. I told the boys to stay with Mrs. Chen next door, but they're stubborn, like their mother was. If you're still there, if you can possibly wait another 30 minutes, I'll explain everything. I understand if you leave. I wouldn't blame you. Liam. Maya read it twice, then looked up at the two boys watching her with expressions so hopeful it physically hurt. Your daddy, she said slowly. Is he James? Both boys shook their heads vigorously. He's Liam, the first boy said. Liam Carter. James canceled on you, the second boy explained with the blunt honesty only children possess. Daddy called the restaurant and they said you were already here, already waiting. And he felt really bad because he knows what that feels like. And, Noah, breathe. The first boy interrupted. You breathe, Eli. You're both not breathing. Maya held up a hand. Her nurse instincts kicking in. Okay, slow down. Let me make sure I understand. Your father Liam, he's not the person I was supposed to meet tonight. No, Eli said. But he's way better than James. James is a jerk who stands people up. Daddy doesn't stand people up, Noah added proudly. He saves people. He's a paramedic. The word hit Maya like a physical thing. Paramedic. Multi-car accident. Critical. She looked down at the note again, at that single line. I know what that feels like. How did he know I was here? Maya asked quietly. The boys exchanged another look. We might have borrowed his phone, Eli admitted. We saw your texts, Noah continued. From the dating app. We saw that James guy wasn't answering you, and Daddy was upset because he said no woman should be left sitting alone on a Friday night and we told him he should go instead. Eli finished triumphantly. Maya's brain struggled to catch up. Your father sent you two here to ask me to wait for him. No, both boys shouted in unison. He told us to stay home, Noah explained. But we took the bus. You took the bus. Maya's voice went up an octave. Does your father know you're here? Guilty silence. Oh my God! Maya stood up, her mind racing through 100 potential disasters. We need to call him right now. He must be terrified. Do you have a phone? Daddy's phone, Eli said, pulling a cracked iPhone from his jacket pocket. Maya grabbed it, but the screen was locked. What's the passcode? The boys looked at each other. You don't know. We watched him type it once, Noah said defensively, but there were a lot of numbers. Maya closed her eyes and counted to 5, her standard technique for moments when patients' families were driving her crazy. Except these weren't patients' families. These were two kids who'd just crossed Portland alone to deliver a message from their father. A father she'd never met. A father who apparently knew what it felt like to sit alone in a restaurant waiting. Okay, she said, forcing calm into her voice. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have Marco the waiter call the police, non-emergency line, explain the situation, and get your father's work number. No. Eli's eyes went wide. You can't call the police. Daddy will get in so much trouble. He's already in trouble for leaving you alone, Maya pointed out. We weren't alone, Noah protested. Mrs. Chen was babysitting. We snuck out. That's not better. Please, Eli said, and the desperation in his voice made Maya's chest tighten. Please don't call the police. Daddy's had a really hard time. He doesn't go on dates. He works all the time. He's sad all the time, even when he pretends he's not. We just wanted to help. Maya looked down at these two little boys with their tear-stained faces and mismatched shoes, and something cracked open inside her chest. She thought about her own father, who'd raised her alone after her mother left. She thought about all the nights he'd worked double shifts, all the times he'd pretended everything was fine when it wasn't. She thought about sitting in this restaurant alone, convinced she wasn't worth showing up for. What are your names? She asked softly. I'm Eli. He's Noah. We're 6 3/4. Well, Eli and Noah, I'm Maya. And I think we should at least let your father know you're safe. How about we try to unlock this phone? She sat back down, and the boys immediately climbed into the chair across from her, the chair that had been empty all night. Noah pulled over the plate of complimentary bread that had been sitting untouched and grabbed a roll. Are you hungry? Maya asked. Starving, Noah mumbled through a mouthful of bread. Eli elbowed him. Don't talk with your mouth full. Daddy says that's rude. You're rude. You're ruder. Marco appeared beside the table, his professional composure visibly strained. Miss Torres is everything. All right? Maya looked at the waiter at the phone at the two boys who were now arguing over the bread basket. She thought about James, who couldn't even bother to send a cancellation text. She thought about going home to her empty apartment, crawling into bed, telling herself for the 1,000th time that she was fine alone. Then she thought about a man she'd never met working an emergency scene, worried about a stranger sitting alone in a restaurant. Marco, she said, surprising herself with the steadiness in her voice. Could you bring us a couple orders of fries and maybe some chicken fingers? You're staying? Noah asked, eyes lighting up. I'm staying, Maya confirmed. But only because someone needs to keep you two from stealing any more phones or riding any more buses across the city. Eli beamed. You're gonna love our dad. He's the best. He makes really good pancakes, Noah added. But he always burns the bacon. He lets us stay up late on Fridays to watch movies. He does all the voices when he reads to us. He carries us upstairs when we fall asleep on the couch even though we're getting big. He says Mom would be proud of us. The last one came out quieter, and both boys suddenly looked down at the table. Maya's throat tightened. She thought about the note again, like their mother was. Past tense. I bet she would be, Maya said gently. Proud of you, I mean. You two seem pretty brave. Daddy says we're stubborn, Eli said. Like Mom was, Noah added, then smiled a little. We like being like Mom. Marco returned with 2 plates of fries and chicken fingers. The boys attacked the food with the single-minded focus of genuinely hungry children, and Maya found herself smiling despite everything. When was the last time she'd smiled this much on a Friday night? She tried a few more passcode combinations on Liam's phone, while the boys ate birthdays addresses. Anything that might work, but nothing clicked. Finally, she gave up and set it aside. Tell me about your dad, she said instead. How long has he been a paramedic? Forever, Eli said. Since before we were born. He saves people, Noah said proudly. Last week, he saved a lady who couldn't breathe, and she sent him cookies. We ate them. He works a lot, Eli continued, his voice dropping a little. Sometimes he works all night. Mrs. Chen stays with us. But he always comes home, Noah added quickly. Even when he's really tired, he always reads us a story. Maya watched them eat, watched the way they unconsciously mirrored each other's movements, reaching for fries at the same time, wiping their hands on the same napkins. She thought about how much work went into raising one child, let alone 2 identical 6-year-olds. alone. Miss Maya. Eli's voice broke through her thoughts. Are you mad that James didn't come? Maya considered the question. Was she mad? An hour ago, yes. Humiliated, hurt, angry at herself for hoping. But now, sitting here with these two unexpected boys, something felt different. I'm disappointed, she said honestly. It's not fun to be stood up. But I'm also glad I stayed. Because you met us, Noah asked hopefully. Because I met you, Maya confirmed. Both boys grinned, and Maya felt that crack in her chest widen a little more. When had she last spent time with kids? She saw plenty at the hospital, scared sick kids and their terrified parents. But this was different. This was fries and stories, and the simple, uncomplicated warmth of children who'd decided she was worth running across the city for. Can I ask you something? Eli said, suddenly serious. Do you like kids? I do, Maya said. I work with them sometimes at the hospital. I'm a nurse. The boy's eyes went wide. You save people too, Noah exclaimed. Just like Daddy, Eli added. Sort of, Maya laughed. Though I think your dad probably has more exciting stories. He has really good stories. Noah agreed. But he doesn't tell us the scary parts. He thinks we don't know about the scary parts, but we do. Eli nodded solemnly. Sometimes we hear him on the phone with Uncle Marcus. He talks about the bad calls, the ones where people don't make it. Maya's heart squeezed. She knew those conversations. She'd had them herself late at night with her coworkers, processing the losses that came with their jobs, the patients you couldn't save, the families you had to face afterward. Your dad sounds like a good man, she said quietly. He is. Both boys said in unison, then looked at each other and giggled. The restaurant around them had started to empty. Maya checked her phone. 8:47 p.m. Almost 2 hours since she'd first sat down. Almost an hour since the boys had burst through the door. She should leave. This was crazy. She didn't know these kids didn't know their father. For all she knew, this whole thing was some elaborate... The phone on the table buzzed. All three of them jumped. Maya grabbed it, and even though the screen was locked, she could see the notification. Mrs. Chen. The boys are gone. I'm calling the police. Where are you? Uh-oh, both boys said quietly. Before Maya could respond, the phone started ringing. The screen showed an incoming call from St. Vincent Hospital. Maya stared at it, her finger hovering over the answer button. This was it. The moment where reality crashed back in. Where she'd have to explain to this stranger, this Liam Carter, that his children had run away to convince a woman he'd never met to wait for him. She answered. Thank God! A male voice gasped out, rough and exhausted and desperate. Mrs. Chen, I just got your text. I'm leaving the hospital now. This isn't Mrs. Chen, Maya interrupted. This is Maya Torres. Your sons are with me. They're safe. Silence. Then, what? I'm at Giovanni's, the restaurant downtown. Eli and Noah showed up about an hour ago. They gave me your note. More silence. Maya could hear background noise, voices, radio chatter, the distinctive sounds of an emergency scene. Oh my God, Liam finally said, and his voice cracked. Oh my God, I told them to stay home. I swear I told them. I know, they told me. They snuck out. Are they really okay? Maya looked at the boys who were watching her with matching expressions of hope and fear. They're fine, she said. We've been eating fries, talking. They're good kids. They're insane, Liam said, but there was something in his voice that sounded almost like a laugh. I'm so sorry. I'm coming right now. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Take your time, Maya surprised herself by saying. We're not going anywhere. Another pause. You waited. Your sons were very convincing. Miss Maya, Eli whispered. Is he mad? Maya covered the phone's microphone. He's worried, and probably a little mad, but mostly worried. We're really sorry, Noah whispered. Maya uncovered the microphone. They want you to know they're sorry. Put them on, Liam said. Maya handed the phone to Eli, who pressed it between both their heads so Noah could hear too. Hi, Daddy, they said in unison. Maya couldn't hear Liam's response, but she watched the boys' faces cycle through emotions: fear, guilt, defiance, then finally something that looked like relief. We're okay, Eli said. We promise. Miss Maya's really nice, Noah added. You're gonna like her. She's a nurse, Eli said. Just like Mom was. Maya's breath caught. Just like Mom was. The boys listened for another moment, then both said, Okay, we love you too. They held the phone back out to Maya. Miss Torres. Liam's voice was steadier now, though still strained. I'm pulling up to the restaurant now. Could you possibly stay until I get inside? I just need to see them, to know they're really okay. Of course, Maya said, and meant it. Thank you, Liam said, and the simple words carried so much weight they almost broke her. Thank you for staying, for taking care of them, for not— His voice caught. For not just leaving. Someone should have stayed for you too, Maya said softly. The line went quiet, then so quiet she almost missed it. Yeah, someone should have. The call ended. Maya set the phone down and looked at the boys. Your dad's here. They scrambled off the chair, pressing their faces against the restaurant's window. Maya stood too, her heart hammering for reasons she couldn't name. The door opened, and Maya's entire world shifted. Liam Carter looked like he'd been through a war. That was Maya's first thought as he stumbled through the door still in his paramedic uniform navy blue, with reflective strips that caught the restaurant's soft lighting. His dark hair was plastered to his forehead with sweat or rain, she couldn't tell which. There was a smudge of something that looked like blood on his collar. His face was pale, exhausted, and when his eyes found his son's pressed against the window, something in his expression just crumbled. Daddy! The boys screamed in unison, launching themselves at him. Liam dropped to his knees right there in the entrance, wrapping both arms around them and pulling them in so tight, Maya thought they might disappear into his chest. His shoulders shook. He was crying, she realized. Silent, gasping sobs that he tried to muffle in their hair. I'm sorry, Eli whispered. We're sorry. Don't ever— Liam choked out. Ever do that again. Do you understand me? Ever. We won't, Noah promised. We were just trying to help. You could have been hurt. You could have gotten lost. Someone could have taken you. Liam pulled back, gripping both their faces in his hands. You scared 10 years off my life. 10 years. I'm going to be dead before I'm 40 because of you two. You're not gonna die. Eli said, his own tears starting. Don't say that. We're really sorry, Noah sobbed. Liam pulled them close again, and Maya had to look away. The intimacy of the moment felt too raw, too private. She found herself blinking hard, her own eyes burning. When was the last time someone had held her like that? Like losing her would break them. Marco appeared at her elbow. Should I give them a moment? Yes, Maya whispered. And maybe bring some water. She sat back down at the table, giving the reunited family space. Other diners were watching now, some with curiosity, others with knowing smiles. The hostess had paused mid-greeting with a new couple, her hand pressed to her chest. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 2 minutes, Liam stood, each boy tucked under an arm. He walked toward Maya's table and she got her first real look at him. Tall, probably 6'2". Broad shoulders that came with physically demanding work. Brown eyes that matched his son's, exactly, currently red-rimmed and exhausted. A strong jaw shadowed with stubble. Maybe 33-34 lines around his eyes that spoke of both laughter and stress. He was objectively very attractive. But that wasn't what made Maya's breath catch. It was the way he looked at her, like she'd just performed a miracle. "Miss Torres," he said, his voice rough. "I don't even know how to thank you." "Maya," she corrected, standing. "And you don't need to thank me. Your sons are remarkable. We had a nice time." "We ate fries," Noah announced, "and chicken fingers." "And she didn't call the police," Eli added helpfully. Liam winced. The bar is apparently very low. "The bar was non-existent," Maya said, surprising herself with a smile. "Your sons raised it considerably." Liam stared at her for a long moment, something unreadable crossing his face. Then he shook his head slowly. "I don't understand. You didn't leave. After James stood you up, after my insane children ambushed you, you just stayed." "Well," Maya said, "when two 6-year-olds take a bus across Portland to deliver a message, it seems rude not to hear them out." "They took a bus." Liam closed his eyes. "They took an actual city bus, alone." "We knew which one," Eli protested. "The number 12. We ride it with you all the time," Noah added. "That is not the point," Liam said, his voice rising slightly before he caught himself and took a visible breath. "We'll discuss this at home, for the next month, possibly the next year." Marco returned with water glasses, setting them down diplomatically before vanishing again. Liam downed his in 3 gulps. "Sit," Maya said, gesturing to the chair. "You look like you're about to fall over." "I shouldn't," Liam said, but he was already sinking into the seat like his legs couldn't hold him anymore. The boys immediately climbed back into the opposite chair, squished together. "I should get them home. Mrs. Chen is probably having a heart attack." "I already texted her from your phone," Maya said. "Told her everyone's safe." Liam's eyes widened. "You unlocked my phone. The boys helped. Turns out your passcode is their birthday." "It's a really good passcode," Eli said defensively. "Very secure," Noah agreed. Liam dropped his head into his hands. "I'm a terrible parent." "You're an exhausted parent," Maya corrected gently. "There's a difference." He looked up at her, and something in his expression made her chest tight. Gratitude, yes, but also recognition, like he'd found someone who understood a language he'd been speaking alone for too long. "The accident," Maya said quietly. "Was it bad?" Liam glanced at the boys, then back at her. 3 cars, 5 people. We got them all out alive, but—" He trailed off, his jaw clenching. "It was close. One of them was a kid, maybe 8 years old. She kept asking for her mom, and her mom was in the other ambulance, and I just kept thinking about—" He stopped abruptly, shaking his head. "Sorry, you don't need to hear this." "I'm a nurse," Maya said. "I've heard worse, and I've had those same thoughts." Their eyes met, and something passed between them. Understanding. The weight of caring for people, of sometimes losing them despite everything. Of carrying that home. "What unit?" Liam asked. "Pediatric ICU at Providence." "Jesus." He let out a low whistle. "That's brutal," says the paramedic who just worked a 3-car pileup. "At least my patients are usually unconscious." Maya laughed, actually laughed, and it felt strange and wonderful. "That's terrible." "But true." Liam's lips quirked in the smallest smile. "Dark humor. Occupational hazard." "Daddy makes really bad jokes," Eli informed Maya solemnly. "The worst jokes," Noah confirmed. "He thinks he's funny." "I am funny," Liam protested. "You two just don't appreciate quality humor." "You told us a knock-knock joke yesterday," Eli said. "It didn't make sense." "It made perfect sense. You just didn't get the punchline." "Nobody got the punchline," Noah muttered. Maya watched them bicker, watched the easy affection between father and sons, and felt something unfurl in her chest. This was what she'd been waiting for in all those empty restaurants, all those failed dates. Not perfection, not some Hollywood romance, but this real, messy, beautiful connection. Marco reappeared, setting down a basket of fresh bread. Compliments of the chef. He wanted me to tell you that we don't usually encourage children running through the restaurant, but tonight we're making an exception. Please thank him, Liam said. And I'm really sorry about... Don't apologize. Marco smiled. We've been watching your table all night. This is the most romantic thing I've seen in 6 months of working here, and nobody even planned it. He walked away, and Liam turned to Maya with raised eyebrows. Romantic. Maya felt heat flood her cheeks. I don't think that's the word I'd use. What word would you use? She considered. Unexpected. That's diplomatic. Chaotic. More accurate. Liam leaned back in his chair, and for the first time since he'd walked in, some of the tension left his shoulders. I really am sorry. This wasn't how tonight was supposed to go. How was tonight supposed to go? Well, James was supposed to show up for starters. You two were supposed to have a nice dinner. Maybe discover you had nothing in common and never see each other again. Maybe discover you had everything in common and start dating. Either way, my sons weren't supposed to hijack your evening. We didn't hijack it, Eli said indignantly. We saved it. James was a jerk anyway, Noah added. Maya tilted her head. How do you know James was a jerk? The boys exchanged one of their twin looks. We might have looked at his profile, Eli admitted. On the dating app, Noah clarified. Before we left, Eli finished. Liam closed his eyes. Of course you did. He had pictures of fish, Noah said, disgusted. Like a lot of fish. And he talked about crypto, Eli added. What even is crypto? Something boring, Noah decided. Maya couldn't help it. She burst out laughing. You know what, you're absolutely right. Those were red flags I should have noticed. See? Eli turned to his father triumphantly. We have good instincts. Your instincts told you to steal my phone and take a bus across the city, Liam pointed out. Good instincts, Eli repeated firmly. Liam looked at Maya helplessly, and she just shrugged. They're not wrong about the fish photos. This is not the validation they need right now. Probably not, Maya agreed, but it's the validation they deserve. Something in Liam's expression softened. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone who would have left after 5 minutes of dealing with these two. Someone who would have called the police immediately. Someone who definitely wouldn't be sitting here laughing about fish photos. I have very low expectations for Friday nights, Maya said. Your sons exceeded them. What about me? The question came out before Liam seemed to realize he was asking it, and he looked immediately embarrassed. Sorry, that was... You exceeded them too, Maya said quietly. Their eyes held for a long moment. The boys were conspicuously quiet, watching them with matching grins. Are you two going to fall in love now? Noah asked innocently. Noah? Liam's face went red. What? That's what happens in movies. This isn't a movie, Liam said firmly. Miss Maya is a very nice person who did us an enormous favor, and we're going to thank her politely and then go home and have a very long conversation about boundaries. But you like her, Eli said. It wasn't a question. That's not we just met, I don't even... Liam stumbled over his words, looking at Maya apologetically. I'm sorry. They don't have a filter. It's okay, Maya said, though her heart was racing. They're 6. And 3/4, both boys reminded her. And 3/4, she amended. Liam scrubbed a hand over his face. This is a disaster. This is the best Friday I've had in months, Maya heard herself say. Everyone went still. The boys stared at her. Liam stared at her. She stared at the table, wondering where those words had come from, why she'd said them out loud. Really? Eli asked softly. Maya looked up at 3 pairs of brown eyes, 2 small, 1 exhausted, all hopeful, and found she couldn't lie. Really? Even though you got stood up, Noah pressed. Especially because I got stood up. If James had shown up, I wouldn't have met you 3. Do you want to meet us again? Eli asked. Eli, Liam warned. That's not, we can't just. I would love that, Maya interrupted. The words surprised her as much as they surprised Liam. If your dad's okay with it. Liam opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. You're serious. I'm serious. You want to see my chaotic children again, voluntarily. And their disaster of a father, if he promises to actually show up this time. The smallest smile tugged at Liam's lips. That's a low bar. I'm starting to think low bars are underrated. Miss Maya, Noah said seriously. Are you flirting with our dad? Maya's face went hot. I wasn't. She was totally flirting with him. Eli stage whispered to his brother. You 2 are grounded, Liam said, but he was fighting a smile. Grounded until you're 18. You can't ground us for being right, Noah pointed out. Watch me. Marco appeared again, this time with the check. He set it down in front of Maya, then caught Liam's expression and quickly moved it between them. Whenever you're ready, no rush. Liam reached for it immediately. I'm paying. You are not, Maya protested. You've been here for 3 hours. You fed my sons. You didn't call Child Protective Services. I'm absolutely paying. I had 1 glass of wine and some bread. They had fries. It's not exactly a 5-course meal. I don't care if it's a pack of gum. I'm paying. They stared at each other across the table, both stubborn, neither willing to back down. The boys watched with delight. You 2 are definitely going to get married, Eli decided. Eli, both adults shouted in unison. What? That's what Grandma and Grandpa did. They fought about everything and then they got married. That's not how relationships work, Liam said. Isn't it? Noah asked innocently. Liam pulled out his wallet. I'm paying, and then we're going home, and we're never speaking of this night again. You're going to think about this night a lot, Eli said confidently. So is Miss Maya, Noah added. Maya bit her lip to keep from smiling. You 2 are dangerous. We know, they said together, grinning. Liam settled the bill over Maya's continued protests, and then they all stood. The restaurant was nearly empty now, just a few lingering couples, and the staff cleaning up. Maya gathered her purse, suddenly reluctant to leave. The night had been strange and chaotic and completely unexpected, but now that it was ending, she felt the familiar emptiness creeping back in. Thank you, Liam said again, offering his hand. Really, I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't been here. Maya shook his hand, noticing how warm it was, how steady despite everything. You would have figured it out. You're their father. You would have found them. Maybe, but you made sure I didn't have to panic for too long. He held her hand for a moment longer than necessary, then seemed to realize and let go quickly. The boys are right about one thing. I would like to see you again. If that's something you'd want? No pressure. Tonight was supposed to be a disaster and somehow it wasn't. Because of you. It was a disaster, Maya said. Just a good one. The best kind, Liam agreed. Can we have her phone number? Noah asked. Noah. Liam looked horrified. What? You're thinking. That doesn't mean you say it out loud. Maya laughed and pulled out her phone. Here, put your number in. Liam took it with trembling fingers, typed quickly, and handed it back. Their hands brushed again, and Maya felt electricity shoot up her arm. I'll text you, he said. Tomorrow, maybe, when I'm not covered in someone else's blood and my children aren't attempting to run my dating life. I look forward to it, Maya said, and meant it. They walked toward the exit together, the boys racing ahead to the door, Outside Portland's downtown was alive with Friday night energy people laughing, cars honking, the distant sound of live music from a nearby bar. "Do you need a ride?" Liam asked. "My truck's parked around the corner." "I drove," Maya said. "But thank you." They stood there awkwardly, neither quite ready to leave. "Miss Maya." Eli tugged on her sleeve. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think people get second chances? Like if something bad happens, can something good happen later?" Maya crouched down to his level. "I think life is full of second chances. Sometimes they come when we least expect them." "Like tonight?" Noah asked. "Exactly like tonight." Both boys hugged her suddenly, wrapping their small arms around her waist. Maya froze for a second, then hugged them back, blinking against sudden tears. "Thank you for staying," Eli whispered. "Thank you for coming to find me," Maya whispered back. When they pulled away, Liam was watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. "Come on, troublemakers. Let's get you home before you cause any more chaos." "Bye, Miss Maya," the boys called as Liam herded them down the street. "Bye," Maya called back. She watched them go, a father and his twin sons walking through Portland's Friday night crowd. Liam kept one hand on each boy's shoulder, keeping them close. Every few steps, one of them would look back and Maya would wave back. When they finally turned the corner and disappeared, Maya stood alone on the sidewalk. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is Liam. The boys made me promise to text you before we even got to the truck. Apparently I can't be trusted to follow through on my own." Maya smiled and typed back, "Smart boys." "Too smart. I'm in so much trouble." "The best kind," Maya wrote, echoing their earlier conversation. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then reappeared. Finally, "I haven't done this in a long time. Dating, I mean. I'm probably going to be terrible at it. Fair warning." Maya's fingers hovered over the screen. She thought about James, about all the other dates that had gone nowhere, about sitting alone in restaurants waiting for men who never showed. Then she thought about 2 little boys running through a door clutching a crumpled note. About a father who'd apologized to a stranger for being late to save someone's life. About unexpected chances and good disasters. "I haven't done this in a long time either," she typed. "Maybe we can be terrible at it together." The response came immediately. "That sounds perfect." Maya walked to her car, her phone clutched in her hand, a smile she couldn't suppress spreading across her face. The empty chair didn't feel so empty anymore. Maya's phone buzzed again at 6:47 the next morning, yanking her from the first decent sleep she'd had in weeks. "Too early," Liam's text read. "The boys woke me up at 5:30 demanding to know if I'd texted you yet. I've been holding them off for over an hour. Send help." Maya laughed out loud in her empty bedroom, her hair still tangled on the pillow. She typed back, "Tell them I said good morning." The response was immediate. "They're screaming. My eardrums may never recover. Worth it." Then another text. "They want to know if you like pancakes." Maya sat up suddenly, wide awake. "I love pancakes." "Dinner tonight. My place. Fair warning, the pancakes will be slightly burned. The boys will ask you approximately 900 questions, and my house is a disaster zone." Maya's finger hovered over the screen. This was fast, maybe too fast. She'd known this man for approximately 12 hours, most of which had been complete chaos. Going to his house, meeting his kids again in their own territory, sitting at their dinner table, that was real. That was stepping into their life, not just observing it from a restaurant booth. She typed, "What time?" By 6 o'clock that evening, Maya had changed outfits 4 times and was seriously considering canceling. She stood in front of her bathroom mirror, staring at her reflection in jeans and a simple green sweater, wondering what she was doing. The nurse in her, the practical, sensible part that had gotten her through nursing school and 7 years of pediatric emergencies, kept listing all the reasons this was a terrible idea. Single father. Twin 6-year-olds. Dead wife. Baggage upon baggage upon baggage. But another part of her, a part she'd thought had died somewhere between her last relationship and her 30th birthday, whispered, "What if?" Her phone buzzed. Sophia's name flashed on the screen. "Tell me you're not actually going to a stranger's house for dinner," her best friend said the moment Maya answered. "He's not a stranger. I met him last night. For 20 minutes. While his children held you hostage." "They didn't hold me hostage. They were sweet." "Maya?" Sophia's voice went serious. "I love that you're putting yourself out there. I really do. But this is moving crazy fast. You don't know this guy. You don't know anything about him except that he has terrible parenting skills and enough audacity to invite you to his house on a second date." "It's not a second date. The first wasn't even a real date." "That makes it worse. This is technically a first date, and first dates happen in public places with exit strategies." Maya sat down on her bed, pressing her free hand against her forehead. "You're right. This is insane. I should cancel." Silence on the other end. Then, "But you're not going to, are you?" "I don't know. Maybe. Probably not." Sophia sighed. "What's his address? I'm tracking your location, and if you don't text me every 30 minutes, I'm calling the police." "That's dramatic." "That's friendship. Address. Now." Maya rattled off the address Liam had sent her, then added, "I'm a grown woman. I can take care of myself." "You're a grown woman who spent 7 years dating a man who borrowed money from you and never paid it back. Your judgment in men is questionable at best." That was different. Every situation is different until it's the same. Just be careful. Please. After they hung up, Maya sat in the silence of her apartment, Sophia's words echoing. Her last relationship had been a disaster 3 years with Daniel, who'd been charming and thoughtful right up until he'd stopped being either of those things. The breakup had been ugly. He'd accused her of caring more about her patients than about him, and the worst part was, he'd been right. She had cared more. Because her patients needed her, and Daniel had just wanted her. But Liam was different. Wasn't he? Her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a photo, both boys holding up handmade signs. Eli's read, "Welcome Miss Maya," in crooked letters. Noah's said, "We made pancakes," with a drawing that might have been a pancake, or possibly a deformed circle. Below the photo, "No pressure, but they've been working on these for 2 hours." Maya grabbed her keys. Liam's house was a small craftsman bungalow in a quiet neighborhood 20 minutes from downtown. The porch light was on, and through the front window, Maya could see movement shadows of people rushing around. She sat in her car for a full minute, gripping the steering wheel before finally forcing herself to get out. She'd barely made it up the front steps when the door flew open and both boys launched themselves at her. "You came," Eli shouted. "We thought maybe you wouldn't," Noah added. "Why wouldn't I come?" Maya asked, laughing as they pulled her inside. "Daddy said maybe you'd get smart and change your mind," Eli explained. From somewhere deeper in the house, Liam's voice called out, "I did not say that." "You did?" both boys yelled back. "I said she might have second thoughts, which is completely different." The house smelled like butter and vanilla and something burning. Maya followed the boys through a living room that was cluttered but clean toys in baskets, books stacked on shelves, a well-worn couch with mismatched throw pillows. Photos lined the walls, most of them featuring the boys at various ages. And in several of them, a woman with dark hair and a bright smile held them close. The kitchen was small and chaotic. Liam stood at the stove wielding a spatula, like a weapon, his hair sticking up in multiple directions. He'd changed from his uniform into jeans and a dark blue Henley that made his eyes even more striking. There was flour on his shoulder and what looked like batter on his chin. "Hi," he said, looking relieved and terrified in equal measure. "You're here." "I'm here," Maya confirmed. "The pancakes are only slightly disasters," Noah informed her. "Very slightly," Eli agreed. Liam shot them a look. You two are not helping. Go set the table. We already set it, Eli said. Set it again. Differently. The boys giggled and ran off. Liam turned to Maya, his expression apologetic. I'm so sorry. This was a terrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking. We should have gone to a restaurant like normal people. Normal people don't have near-perfect strangers over for dinner after their kids ambush them. Maya pointed out, moving closer. We're already way past normal. Fair point. Liam flipped a pancake, and it landed half on the pan, half on the stovetop. Damn it. You weren't kidding about the burning. I'm better at saving lives than cooking them breakfast. He grabbed a towel, wiping up the mess. The boys wanted to make dinner special. They've been planning all day. I think they see you as some kind of fairy godmother who's going to fix everything. And what do you see me as? The question came out before Maya could stop it. Liam turned to look at her, the spatula still in his hand. Honestly, I have no idea. But I haven't stopped thinking about you since last night, and that terrifies me. The honesty of it hit Maya square in the chest. Yeah, same. They stared at each other across the small kitchen, the moment stretching between them like something fragile and precious. Then Noah's voice shattered it. Daddy, the table looks the same. We can't set it differently. Liam closed his eyes. Deep breaths. This is fine. Everything's fine. Is it always like this? Maya asked. This is actually a calm evening. Last week Eli tried to build a fort out of all the furniture, and Noah got stuck in the laundry basket. He plated the last pancake and turned off the stove. Come on, let's eat before anything else catches fire. The dining table was set with mismatched plates and cups, clearly the boys' work. They'd even picked flowers from the backyard and stuck them in a mason jar as a centerpiece. Both boys sat up straight, beaming with pride. Do you like it? Eli asked eagerly. It's beautiful, Maya said, and meant it. When was the last time someone had tried this hard to make her feel welcome? Dinner was wonderfully chaotic. The pancakes were indeed slightly burned, but they were also delicious. The boys talked over each other, telling Maya stories about school, their friends, the neighbor's cat, who kept sneaking into their yard. Liam tried to maintain some semblance of order, but mostly just gave up and let them run wild. Tell Miss Maya about the science project, Liam prompted at one point. Oh, we made a volcano, Noah said excitedly. It exploded all over the garage, Eli added proudly. It was supposed to explode, Liam clarified, just not quite so enthusiastically. Daddy said a bad word, Noah stage whispered to Maya. Several bad words, Eli confirmed. In my defense, I thought we were about to lose the garage. Maya laughed so hard, she almost choked on her water. What did you do? Called my brother, Liam said. He's a firefighter. Figured he'd know what to do. Did he help? Maya asked. He laughed at me for 20 minutes and then helped me clean up. Liam smiled, but something sad flickered across his face. Marcus is good at reminding me I'm not alone in this, even when it feels like I am. The boys went quiet, exchanging looks. Maya recognized the shift immediately, the way children sensed adult pain, even when adults tried to hide it. You're not alone, Daddy, Eli said softly. You have us. And Uncle Marcus, Noah added. And now Miss Maya, Eli said hopefully. Liam's eyes found Maya's across the table. Let's not scare her off just yet. I'm not scared, Maya said, surprising herself with the truth of it. After dinner, the boys insisted on showing Maya their room. It was exactly what she'd expected: bunk beds with superhero sheets, toys scattered across the floor, drawings taped to every available wall surface. But what caught her attention was the shelf by the window, where a collection of photos sat in carefully arranged frames. The woman from the living room pictures smiled out from each one. Beautiful, vibrant, alive. That's our mom, Noah said, appearing at Maya's elbow. Her name was Sarah. She was a nurse, Eli added. Like you. Maya's throat tightened. She was beautiful. Daddy says we have her smile, Noah said. And her stubbornness. Eli grinned. He says that a lot, usually when he's mad at us. Do you miss her? Maya asked gently. Both boys nodded. Every day, Eli said. But it's getting easier. Daddy says that's okay, that she'd want us to be happy. I'm sure she would, Maya said. She'd like you, Noah said with complete certainty. Daddy needs someone who understands his job, someone who gets why he has to leave sometimes, someone who won't be mad about the blood on his uniforms. Noah, Liam's voice came from the doorway. Maya turned to find him leaning against the frame, his expression unreadable. Time for pajamas, both of you, now. The boys groaned but obeyed, pulling pajamas from drawers and heading to the bathroom. Liam stepped into the room, running a hand through his hair. I'm sorry, he said. They shouldn't have brought up Sarah. That's not fair to you. Why not? Maya asked. She was their mother. She's part of your story. But she doesn't have to be part of yours. Maya moved closer to him, her heart pounding. Liam, if we're going to try this, whatever this is, then she does. Because she made you who you are. She gave you those boys. You can't separate that. Most women run at this point, Liam said quietly. The widower with twin kids and a demanding job and enough baggage to fill a cargo plane. I don't blame them. I'm not most women. No. Liam agreed, his eyes intense. You're really not. They stood there, inches apart, the air between them charged. Maya could hear the boys in the bathroom arguing about whose turn it was to use the toothpaste. The house settled around them, creaking and comfortable. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Anything. Why did you send the boys last night? Really? Liam was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was raw. Because 3 years ago, someone stood Sarah up on what would have been our anniversary dinner. I was working a double shift, couldn't get away. She waited 2 hours at that restaurant alone before she gave up and went home. She cried for hours. Said she felt invisible. Like she didn't matter. He swallowed hard. 4 months later she died. And I never got to make it up to her. Never got to prove she mattered. So when I saw your messages, saw James wasn't responding, I couldn't let you sit there alone. I couldn't let another person feel invisible. Maya's eyes burned with tears. Liam, I know it's messed up. I know I'm probably projecting all my guilt onto you, and that's not fair, but... Stop, Maya interrupted. She reached up, cupping his face with both hands. Stop apologizing for being a good person. Stop apologizing for caring. It's too much, Liam whispered. I'm too much. You're exactly enough, Maya said firmly. Before she could second-guess herself, she leaned in and kissed him. It was soft, tentative tasting of syrup and coffee and possibility. Liam froze for half a second, then his hands came up to her waist, pulling her closer. The kiss deepened, and Maya felt something inside her crack wide open, all the walls she'd built, all the protection she'd wrapped around her heart crumbling. We're done brushing, Eli's voice called from the hallway. They broke apart, both breathing hard. Liam's eyes were wide, his lips slightly parted. That was... he started. Yeah, Maya agreed. Can we do that again sometime? I'm counting on it. The boys thundered back into the room in matching pajamas covered in dinosaurs. They looked between Maya and their father, and identical smiles spread across their faces. You kissed her, Noah accused gleefully. I did not, Liam said automatically. Did too. Your face is all red. So is Miss Maya's, Eli pointed out. Maya laughed, covering her burning cheeks. Okay, time for you two to get in bed before you cause any more trouble. But we want to hear about the kissing, Noah protested. There was no kissing, Liam insisted, even as he fought a smile. Lying is bad, Daddy, Eli said solemnly. Liam pointed at the bunk bed. Bed, now, or no pancakes for a week. That got them moving. They scrambled into their respective bunks, Eli on top, Noah on bottom, and settled under their covers. Liam sat on the edge of Noah's bed while Maya found herself perched on the small desk chair. Story time, Noah asked hopefully. It's late, Liam said. How about just one chapter? Miss Maya should read it, Eli suggested. Oh, I don't, Maya started. Please, both boys chorused. Maya looked at Liam, who shrugged helplessly. Your call. They're reading The One and Only Ivan. We're about halfway through. Maya took the offered book, settling more comfortably in the chair. She found their bookmark and began to read, her voice soft in the dim room. The boys listened intently, interrupting occasionally with questions or comments. Liam sat quietly watching her with an expression that made Maya's heart race. By the time she finished the chapter, Noah was already asleep, his breathing deep and even. Eli was fighting it, his eyes drooping. One more chapter, he mumbled. Tomorrow, Liam promised, standing and tucking the blanket around him. Sleep now. McKay. Eli's eyes drifted shut, then opened again, just a sliver. Miss Maya, you'll come back, right? I'll come back, Maya whispered. Promise? I promise. Satisfied, Eli finally gave in to sleep. Liam kissed both boys' foreheads, whispering something Maya couldn't hear, then gestured for her to follow him out. He left the door cracked open, a nightlight, casting a soft glow into the hallway. They walked back to the living room in comfortable silence. Maya should leave. It was late. She had work tomorrow. But she didn't want to, not yet. Coffee? Liam offered. Or I could make tea, or we could just sit. Sitting sounds good. They settled onto the couch, not quite touching, but close enough that Maya could feel his warmth. The house was quiet now, except for the distant hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of old wood. Thank you, Liam said finally. For coming, for staying, for not running screaming when my life exploded all over you. Your life is pretty great, Maya said. Messy but great. Most days I'm just trying to keep my head above water, make sure the boys are fed and clothed and getting to school on time. Make sure I'm not completely failing them. You're not failing them. They're incredible kids. They are. Liam's voice was thick with emotion. They're the best thing I ever did. The best thing Sarah and I ever made together. He paused, then added quietly, She would have liked you. You think so? I know so. You have the same fire she did. The same stubborn determination to care about people even when it costs you. He turned to look at her. She died because of that, you know. Stayed late at the hospital to help with an emergency admission. Drove home exhausted. Fell asleep at the wheel. Maya's hand found his, squeezing tight. Liam, that wasn't her fault. I know. Logically, I know. But I spent the first year blaming her anyway. Blaming myself. Blaming the hospital, the other driver, God, anyone I could think of. His voice cracked. The boys were 3. They barely remember her now. Sometimes that kills me more than anything. That they're growing up without really knowing who she was. Then you tell them, Maya said fiercely. Every day, every story, every memory. You keep her alive for them. Is that enough? It has to be. It's all any of us can do. Love the people we've lost and keep living for the ones who are still here. Liam stared at her, tears streaming down his face now. How are you real? How did those 2 insane children find you in a restaurant and drag you into our mess? Maybe it wasn't a mess, Maya said. Maybe it was exactly what we both needed. He kissed her again, and this time it was desperate, hungry, full of 3 years of loneliness and grief and hope. Maya kissed him back just as hard, pouring every failed date and empty evening and moment of doubt into it. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Liam rested his forehead against hers. I don't know how to do this, he admitted. I don't know how to date or fall in love or let someone in again. I'm going to mess this up. Then we'll mess it up together, Maya promised, and figure it out as we go. You're sure about this? About us? Maya thought about the empty chair from last night, about James and his fish photos, about every moment she'd felt invisible, like she didn't matter. Then she thought about two little boys bursting through a door clutching a crumpled note, about a man who'd sent them because he couldn't stand the thought of someone sitting alone. I'm sure, she said. And for the first time in years, she absolutely was. 3 weeks later, Maya's carefully organized life had been turned completely upside down, and she couldn't bring herself to care. She was sitting in the Providence Hospital break room at 2 a.m, her third cup of coffee going cold in her hands, when her phone buzzed. A photo appeared on the screen, both boys fast asleep on the couch, tangled together like puppies with a note propped against them that read, "Waited up for you. Failed." Below the photo, Liam had texted, "I tried to get them to bed an hour ago. They insisted you promised to call after your shift. I'm raising tiny lawyers." Maya smiled, her exhaustion momentarily forgotten. She'd been working a double shift because one of the other nurses had called in sick, and she'd texted Liam around dinner time to let him know she'd be late. The boys had been devastated. They'd gotten used to her goodnight calls even on the night she didn't come over. She dialed Liam's number. He answered on the first ring, his voice rough with sleep. "Hey," he said softly. "You okay?" "Tired. It was a rough night. Lost a patient around midnight." Maya's voice caught. She'd been holding it together all shift, but hearing Liam's voice made the walls crack. 7 years old. Leukemia. We knew it was coming, but it's still... I'm so sorry, Maya. Her mom was holding her hand when she went. She just kept saying, "I'm here, baby, Mama's here," over and over. Maya wiped at her eyes with her free hand. "I keep thinking about Eli and Noah, about how Sarah wasn't there at the end, how they didn't get to say goodbye." "Don't do that to yourself," Liam said gently. "Every situation is different. Every loss is its own kind of pain. How do you do it? How do you show up to the worst moments of people's lives and then just go home and make pancakes?" Liam was quiet for a moment. "I go home and make pancakes because if I don't, then the worst moments win. The boys need me to be present, to be alive. Sarah would have wanted that too." "I don't know if I can sleep tonight," Maya admitted. "Every time I close my eyes, I see her mother's face." "Do you want me to stay on the phone? I can talk until you fall asleep, or just breathe. Whatever you need. You have to work in 4 hours. And I'll survive on coffee like I always do. Talk to me, Maya. Tell me about the good parts of your shift." So she did. She told him about the 8-year-old with cystic fibrosis who'd finally been cleared to go home after 6 weeks. About the teenager who'd survived a car accident and was walking again. About the parents who'd brought her flowers to thank her for saving their son's life. And slowly, gradually, the weight on her chest began to lift. "You still there?" Liam asked after she'd gone quiet. "Still here. Thank you. Come over tomorrow after your shift. The boys are making you something. They've been working on it for days and won't tell me what it is." Should I be worried? Probably, but in a good way. Maya arrived at Liam's house the next evening to find the front door decorated with construction paper hearts and a banner that read, "Miss Maya is the best," in crayon. She'd barely knocked when the door flew open and both boys tackled her in a hug. "We heard about your bad night," Eli said seriously. "Daddy told us someone died," Noah added. "We're really sorry." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. "Thank you guys. We made you something to make you feel better," Eli said, grabbing her hand and pulling her inside. The dining table was covered in papers, drawings, paintings, handmade cards. Every single one featured Maya in some capacity. Maya at the hospital with a stethoscope. Maya reading to them. Maya and Liam holding hands. Maya with angel wings and a halo. "We made you a superhero," Noah explained, pointing to the last one. because that's what nurses are. Superheroes who save people. Maya's throat closed up completely. She knelt down and pulled both boys into a fierce hug. "This is the most beautiful thing anyone has ever given me." "Really?" Eli asked. "Even better than grown-up presents." "A million times better." Liam appeared from the kitchen, wiping his hands on a dish towel. His eyes met Maya's, and something passed between them, understanding tenderness, the recognition of shared grief, and how to survive it. "Dinner's almost ready," he said. "Nothing fancy, just spaghetti." "Perfect," Maya said, but dinner never happened. Maya's phone rang just as they were sitting down the hospital. "Pediatric emergency. Multi-vehicle accident. All hands on deck." "I have to go," Maya said, already standing. "I'm so sorry." "Don't apologize," Liam said immediately. "Go. Save lives. We'll be here when you get back." Maya hesitated at the door, looking back at the three of them sitting at the table, the family she was slowly, terrifyingly falling in love with. "I'll call you," she promised. "We know," both boys said together. The shift lasted 9 hours. 3 children from the accident, all critical. Maya worked alongside Dr. Patterson and 2 other nurses, their hands moving in practiced synchronization. 2 of the children stabilized quickly. The third, a 5-year-old girl named Emma, fought for every breath. Maya stayed with her through the night, monitoring vitals, adjusting medications, whispering encouragement, even though the little girl was unconscious. The parents stood vigil by the bedside, holding each other, praying. At 4:47 in the morning, Emma's vitals stabilized. Her breathing regulated, her color improved. She was going to make it. Maya stepped out of the room on shaking legs and found a quiet corner of the hallway. She slid down the wall, buried her face in her hands, and finally let herself cry. For the little girl she'd lost the night before. For Emma, who'd survived. For every parent who sat in these halls terrified and helpless. For Sarah, who'd worked these same halls and never made it home. Her phone buzzed. A text from Liam. "Still awake. Thinking about you." Maya called him without thinking. "Hey," Liam answered immediately. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. Everything's right. We saved her, Liam. The little girl from the accident. She's going to be okay." "Maya, that's incredible." "I keep thinking about yesterday. About the patient we lost. About how sometimes we can't save them, and sometimes we can, and we never know which it's going to be until it's over." She wiped at her face. "How do you live with that uncertainty?" "You just do. You show up. You do your best. You hold on to the wins, and try to forgive yourself for the losses." He paused. "Where are you right now?" "Hospital hallway. Sitting on the floor like a disaster." "Stay there. I'm coming to get you." "Liam, it's 5 in the morning. The boys are with Mrs. Chen. I'm already in my truck. Stay put." He hung up before Maya could protest. She sat there in the fluorescent hallway light, surrounded by the beeping of machines and hushed voices of the night shift, and felt something warm bloom in her chest. He was coming. Without hesitation, without complaint, he was coming. 20 minutes later, Liam appeared at the end of the hallway, still in sweatpants and a wrinkled t-shirt, his hair sticking up at odd angles. He spotted her, and his entire face softened. "There you are," he said, sliding down the wall to sit beside her. They sat in silence for a long moment, shoulders touching their breathing, gradually synchronizing. "Thank you," Maya finally said, "for coming, for understanding. You think I don't know what this feels like, the adrenaline crash after a critical call. The way you can't quite come down, can't quite process what just happened." Liam took her hand, threading their fingers together. "I've sat in my truck in hospital parking lots more times than I can count, trying to remember how to be a person again before I went home to the boys." "Do you ever worry you're going to bring it home with you? The trauma, the fear." "Every single day. But then I walk through that door and they're fighting over who gets the blue cup or demanding I fix some toy that's been broken for weeks, and it all just..." He shrugged. It puts things in perspective. Reminds me why I do this job. Why we both do. Because someone has to. Because we can. And because the alternative, not showing up, not trying, that's worse than any shift, no matter how hard. Maya leaned her head on his shoulder. When did you get so wise? 3 years of therapy and a lot of mistakes. He pressed a kiss to the top of her head. Come on. Let's get you home. I can drive. You absolutely cannot. You've been awake for over 24 hours. I'm driving you home. You're going to sleep and I'm going to pick you up tonight for dinner. No arguments. The boys have school tomorrow. You have work. And we'll manage like we always do. Maya, stop trying to make yourself smaller. Stop trying to be less of a burden. You're not a burden. You're... He stopped, seeming to catch himself. I'm what? Maya asked softly. Liam turned to look at her, his brown eyes intense. You're important. To me. To the boys. To everyone whose life you save. You matter, Maya. Don't ever doubt that. The words hit her like a physical force. When was the last time someone had said that to her? That she mattered. That she was important. Not just useful or helpful or convenient, but genuinely, fundamentally important. Liam, she whispered. Too much, too fast, he said, already pulling back. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have... She kissed him. Right there in the hospital hallway, surrounded by the machines that kept people alive, and the smell of antiseptic and the fluorescent lights that made everything look slightly unreal. She kissed him like he'd just handed her something precious, something she'd been searching for without even knowing it. When they broke apart, a nurse Maya didn't recognize was walking past, trying very hard to pretend she hadn't seen anything. We should probably get out of here before I get fired for inappropriate workplace behavior, Maya said, laughing. That would be a real tragedy after the night you've had. They drove to Maya's apartment in comfortable silence, Liam's truck rumbling through Portland's empty early morning streets. The sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. At her door, Liam hesitated. Will you be okay? I can stay if you need me to. I'll be okay. But Liam, thank you for everything, for understanding this life, for not asking me to choose between my work and you. I would never ask that. Your work is part of who you are, just like mine is part of me. We understand each other, Maya. That's rare. After he left, Maya collapsed onto her bed fully clothed and slept for 6 hours straight. When she woke up, there were 17 texts waiting. 3 from Sophia, demanding details about the widower. 2 from her supervisor confirming Emma's continued improvement. And 12 from Liam and the boys' photos of their day, random observations drawings, and 1 video of Eli and Noah singing a song they'd made up about how Maya was the bestest nurse in the universe. She was smiling at her phone when it rang. An unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Is this Maya Torres? A woman's voice asked. Yes, who's this? My name is Jennifer Patterson. I'm Emma's mother, the little girl you helped save last night. The woman's voice cracked. The nurses told me you stayed with her all night, that you talked to her even when she couldn't hear. I needed to call and say thank you. You gave me my daughter back. Maya's eyes flooded with tears. You don't need to thank me. I was just doing my job. No, you were being a hero, and I will never ever forget what you did for us. A pause. Emma's awake now. She's asking for the nice nurse with the dark hair. Could you possibly come by? I know it's your day off, but she wants to thank you herself. 30 minutes later, Maya was back at the hospital, still in yesterday's scrubs, standing beside Emma's bed. The little girl was pale and weak, but smiling tubes and wires still attached to her small body. Hi, Emma whispered. Are you the angel? Maya's heart clenched. No, sweetie, I'm just a nurse. Mommy said you saved me. That makes you an angel. Emma's small hand found Maya's. "Thank you for not letting me die." "You fought so hard," Maya said, her voice thick. "You're the bravest girl I've ever met." She stayed for 20 minutes talking to Emma about her favorite cartoons and her stuffed animals and her plans for when she got out of the hospital. When she finally left, Jennifer walked her to the elevator. "You have children?" Jennifer asked. "No, not yet." "You should. You'd be an amazing mother." Jennifer hugged her suddenly fiercely. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Maya held her, this stranger who'd entrusted her daughter's life to Maya's hands, and felt the full weight of her calling settle onto her shoulders. This was why she did it. Not for the paycheck, or the recognition, or the sense of accomplishment. But for this, the moment when life won. When love won. When hope proved stronger than fear. She left the hospital and drove straight to Liam's house. She didn't call ahead, didn't warn him. She just showed up and knocked. Liam opened the door in jeans and no shirt, clearly having been in the middle of changing. "Maya, what's wrong?" "What happened?" "Nothing's wrong. Everything's right." She stepped inside, grabbed his face, and kissed him hard. "I love you." The words were out before she could stop them, before she could second-guess or rationalize or talk herself out of it. She loved him. Loved his strength and his vulnerability, and his terrible pancakes and his beautiful sons, and the way he understood her in ways no one ever had. Liam stared at her, his eyes wide. "What? I love you," Maya repeated, her heart hammering. "I know it's too fast and too soon, and we barely know each other, but I don't care. I love you. I love Eli and Noah. I love this chaotic, messy, beautiful life you've built. And I want to be part of it, if you'll have me." "Where are the boys?" Liam asked, his voice strange. "What? Where are they right now?" I don't know. Aren't they here? Backyard, playing." Liam turned and shouted, "Boys, stay outside. Don't come in for at least 10 minutes. "Why?" Eli's voice called back. "Because I said so. Play with the hose or something." "It's too cold for the hose." "Then play with something else. Just stay out there." He turned back to Maya, grabbed her waist and kissed her so thoroughly that her knees went weak. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. "I love you too," Liam said. "I've been trying not to say it because I was terrified of scaring you away, but God, Maya, I love you. You walked into our lives and made everything make sense again. You made me remember what it feels like to want something for myself, not just for the boys. You made me believe I could do this, fall in love again, build something new, be happy without feeling guilty about it." "Sarah would want you to be happy," Maya said. "I know, but knowing it and feeling it are different things." He pressed his forehead to hers. "You make me feel it. You make me feel everything." "Daddy," Noah's voice came from the back door. "Can we come in now?" "Eli pushed me in the mud." "I did not." "You slipped. Did not. Did too." Liam closed his eyes, laughing. "Welcome to the family. It's chaos all the way down." "I wouldn't have it any other way," Maya said. They walked hand in hand to the back door. The boys stood on the porch, both covered in mud, grinning sheepishly. "Before you get mad," Eli started. "We can explain," Noah finished. "Explain later. Hose off now," Liam said. "Both of you. And then we're having a family meeting." "Are we in trouble?" Eli asked. "No, but Miss Maya has something to tell you." Both boys' eyes went wide. They looked at Maya, then at their father, then back at Maya. "Are you staying?" Noah asked quietly. "Like really staying forever?" Maya knelt down, not caring about the mud. "If you'll have me, yes. I'm staying." Both boys screamed and launched themselves at her, covering her in mud and grass and pure uninhibited joy. She fell backward onto the grass laughing, and they piled on top of her. Liam stood above them, his phone out taking pictures. "This is definitely going on the fridge." "We're a family now," Eli asked, his face pressed against Maya's shoulder. "We're a family now," Maya confirmed. "Does that mean you're going to marry Daddy?" Noah asked. "Noah?" Liam's face went bright red. "We haven't. That's way too fast." "But you love her," Eli said matter-of-factly. "And she loves you," Noah added. "So you should get married. That's what people do." Maya looked up at Liam, whose expression was somewhere between mortified and hopeful. "Your sons make excellent points." "Don't encourage them," Liam groaned. "We've been dating for 3 weeks." 3 weeks and 2 days, Eli corrected. "We're counting," Noah said proudly. "Of course you are," Liam muttered. But he was smiling. That soft, genuine smile that Maya had learned meant he was truly happy. They spent the rest of the afternoon in the backyard. The boys showed Maya their secret fort, their collection of interesting rocks, and the place where they'd buried a time capsule last summer. Liam grilled burgers for dinner, while Maya helped the boys build an obstacle course out of pool noodles and cardboard boxes. It was ordinary. It was perfect. It was everything Maya hadn't known she'd been missing. That night, after the boys were asleep and she and Liam were curled up on the couch, Maya's phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. "You still alive? Or did the widower murder you and steal your organs?" Maya typed back, "Still alive. Also, I'm in love with him, and basically just moved in. Don't freak out." The phone rang immediately. Maya answered, already laughing. "What do you mean you moved in?" Sophia shrieked. "I didn't move in. I just said I love him, and now I'm here all the time, and okay, I might have moved in, a little bit." "Maya Torres, have you lost your entire mind?" "Probably. But Sophia, I've never been happier." A long pause. Then softer. "Really? Really?" Another pause. "Okay. But if he breaks your heart, I'm breaking his kneecaps." "Fair enough." After they hung up, Liam pulled Maya closer. "Your friend wants to break my kneecaps. Only if you hurt me. Then my kneecaps are safe, because hurting you would mean hurting myself, and I'm kind of attached to all my parts." Maya laughed against his chest. "That was terrible. I know, but you love me anyway." "I do," Maya said, and she meant it with every fiber of her being. 2 months into their relationship, Maya's carefully constructed world received a phone call that threatened to tear everything apart. She was at Liam's house, their house. She was starting to think of it, helping the boys with homework, when her supervisor's number flashed across her screen. Maya stepped into the kitchen to answer, leaving Liam to referee an argument about long division. "Maya, I need you to sit down for this," Dr. Richardson said. Maya's stomach dropped. "What's wrong?" "Providence is opening a new pediatric research facility in Seattle. Cutting-edge treatment protocols, collaboration with Children's Hospital, unlimited funding. They want you to head the nursing staff. It's the opportunity of a lifetime." The kitchen tilted. "Seattle. I know it's far. I know the timing is complicated. But Maya, this is what you've worked toward your entire career. You'd be designing programs, teaching, making policy decisions that could save thousands of children. Not just the ones in your unit, but children everywhere." Maya gripped the counter. "When would I need to decide?" "They want an answer by Monday. If you say yes, you'd start in 6 weeks." 6 weeks. Maya looked through the doorway at Liam sitting on the floor with the boys explaining fractions with apple slices. Eli was laughing at something Noah said. Liam caught her eye and smiled, that smile that still made her heart skip. "I need to think about it," Maya said. "Of course. But Maya, don't let fear make this decision for you. You deserve this." After she hung up, Maya stood frozen in the kitchen, her mind racing. This was everything she'd ever wanted professionally. The chance to make a real difference, to change how pediatric care worked on a systemic level. She'd dreamed about opportunities like this since nursing school. But that was before. before Eli and Noah, before Liam, before she'd found a family she didn't know she was missing. "Everything okay?" Liam appeared in the doorway, concern creasing his forehead. "Yeah, just work stuff." The lie tasted bitter. "You sure? You look like you've seen a ghost." "I'm fine, just tired." Another lie. They were piling up and Maya hated herself for each one. That night, after the boys were asleep, Liam pulled Maya onto the couch. "Talk to me. Something's wrong. I can feel it." "It's nothing, really." "Maya." He took her hands. "We promised each other honesty, no walls. Remember?" The words tumbled out before she could stop them. "Providence offered me a position in Seattle, running the nursing staff for a new pediatric research facility. It's everything I've ever wanted professionally." Liam went very still. "Seattle. I know, it's 3 hours away. I know what that means." "What did you tell them?" "That I needed to think about it." "But you want it." It wasn't a question. Maya's throat tightened. "I don't know what I want. 6 months ago, I would have said yes immediately. But now—" She gestured helplessly around the room. "Now there's you, and the boys, and this life we're building." "When do they need an answer?" "Monday." Liam stood up abruptly and walked to the window, his back to her. Maya watched the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands clenched and unclenched at his sides. "Say something," she whispered. "What do you want me to say, Maya? That I'm fine with you leaving, that we'll make long-distance work, that the boys won't be devastated." His voice cracked. "Because I can't say any of those things. I haven't decided anything yet." "Haven't you?" He turned to face her, and the pain in his eyes nearly broke her. "You said it yourself. It's everything you've ever wanted. I can't ask you to give that up. I won't." "You're not asking. I'm choosing." "Are you? Or are you sacrificing what you want because you're afraid of hurting us?" Liam moved closer, his expression anguished. "Maya, I love you. God, I love you more than I thought I could love anyone again. But I watched Sarah give up her dreams for us little by little, and it killed something in her. I won't do that to you." "This is different. Sarah didn't choose, didn't she? She stayed at a hospital that was killing her with overtime because we needed the money. She worked herself to exhaustion because she thought that's what we needed, and then she died." Liam's voice broke completely. "I can't be the reason you don't chase your dreams. I can't be the person who holds you back." "You're not holding me back. You're—" Maya stopped, tears streaming down her face. "You're the first person who's ever made me want to stay." "Then stay because you want to stay, not because you're afraid of leaving." "That's not fair." "None of this is fair," Liam shouted, then immediately lowered his voice, glancing toward the boys' room. "I'm sorry. I can't do this again. I can't lose someone else I love." "You're not losing me. If you go to Seattle, I am. 3 hours might as well be 3,000. You'll be building a new life, meeting new people, focusing on your career. And we'll be here waiting for weekend visits that get less frequent until they stop altogether. I've seen this story, Maya. I know how it ends." Maya stood, anger flaring through her grief. "So that's it. You're just giving up. Deciding we're over before I've even made a choice." "I'm not giving up. I'm being realistic." Liam scrubbed his hands over his face. "I have 2 kids who are already attached to you, who call you their family, who ask me every single day when you're coming over. If you leave and come back every few weekends, it'll hurt them. And if you leave and don't come back—" He couldn't finish the sentence. "I would never abandon them. You wouldn't mean to, but life happens, distance happens, people grow apart." They stood staring at each other across the living room, the space between them feeling suddenly vast. Maya thought about the empty chair in the restaurant, about all the times she'd felt invisible and unwanted. And now, here was Liam essentially telling her to leave, even though it was killing him. I need to go, Maya said quietly. Maya, please. No, you've made yourself clear. I'm not going to stay here and argue about a decision I haven't even made yet. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. Don't leave like this, Liam pleaded. But she was already gone, the door closing softly behind her. Maya drove home on autopilot, tears blurring the streetlights into streaks of gold. Her apartment felt cold and empty after months of barely being there. She collapsed on her couch and called Sophia. It's midnight, Sophia answered groggily. Someone better be dead. I might have just destroyed my relationship. Sophia was instantly alert. What happened? Maya explained everything. The job offer, the fight, Liam's conviction that long distance wouldn't work. By the end, she was sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. Okay, first of all, breathe, Sophia said firmly. Second, he's not entirely wrong. What? Hear me out. Long distance is hard. Long distance with 2 kids involved is harder. And long distance when you're still in the honeymoon phase of your relationship, that's brutal. Sophia paused. But Maya, you can't give up your dreams for a man. Any man. Even one with cute kids and abs. He doesn't want me to give it up. That's the problem. He's pushing me away to protect himself. Classic widower move. Can't lose someone if you push them away first. Sophia's voice softened. But honey, you need to figure out what you actually want. Not what Liam wants. Not what the boys need. Not what your career demands. What does Maya Torres want? Maya closed her eyes. I don't know anymore. She spent the weekend alone, ignoring calls from Liam and texts from the boys. She needed space to think, to figure out what she wanted without the weight of everyone else's expectations. On Sunday afternoon, there was a knock at her door. Maya opened it to find Marcus, Liam's brother, standing in the hallway holding a 6-pack of beer. I'm here on an unauthorized mission, Marcus said. My brother is being an idiot, and someone needs to talk sense into someone. I'm not sure who yet. Despite everything, Maya laughed. Come in. They sat on her couch, and Marcus cracked open 2 beers. So, Seattle. Your brother told you. My brother told me he's terrified you're going to leave, and equally terrified you're going to stay for the wrong reasons. Marcus took a long drink. For what it's worth, I think you're both idiots. Gee, thanks. I'm serious. You're so busy trying not to hurt each other that you're not actually talking about what matters. He set down his beer and looked at her seriously. Do you love my brother? Yes. Do you love those boys? More than I thought possible. Then why are we even having this conversation? Take the job. Make it work. Maya stared at him. You think I should take it? I think you should do what's best for you. And if that means taking this incredible opportunity, then take it. Liam will figure it out. The boys will adapt. Hell, I'll help. But don't sacrifice your dreams because you're afraid. Fear is a terrible reason to make life decisions. Liam said the same thing about his wife, that she sacrificed her dreams and it killed her. Sarah's situation was different. She was drowning, and she didn't tell anyone until it was too late. Marcus leaned forward. But you're not Sarah. You're strong enough to ask for help. And Liam's strong enough to give it if he can get past his own fear long enough to see that. After Marcus left, Maya sat in the silence of her apartment and finally let herself think clearly. She thought about Emma, the little girl she'd saved. About Jennifer's words. You should have children. You'd be an amazing mother. She thought about Eli and Noah, about reading them bedtime stories and helping with homework and making terrible pancakes on Saturday mornings. She thought about Liam, about the way he looked at her like she was the answer to questions he'd been too afraid to ask. And she thought about the little girl she'd been watching her father work double shifts to keep them afloat after her mother left. About how he'd always told her, don't make yourself smaller for anyone. Take up space. Demand what you deserve. Maya picked up her phone and dialed Liam's number. He answered on the first ring. Maya. Can we talk in person? The boys are at a friend's house. Can you come here? 20 minutes later, they stood facing each other in Liam's living room. He looked terrible, exhausted, drawn like he hadn't slept since their fight. I'm sorry, he started, but Maya held up her hand. Let me go first. I've been thinking about what you said. About not wanting to hold me back. About Sarah sacrificing her dreams. She took a deep breath. You were right. I can't give up this opportunity. It's too important. It's everything I've worked for. Liam's face crumpled. I understand. I'm not finished. I'm taking the job, but I'm not leaving you. He looked up, confusion and hope warring in his eyes. I don't understand. Seattle is 3 hours away. That's 6 hours round trip. I can come home every weekend. You can bring the boys up some weekends. We can FaceTime every night. It's not perfect, but it's possible. She moved closer. Unless you don't want to try, unless you're already giving up on us. I'm not giving up. I'm terrified, but I'm not giving up. Then we do this together. I take the job. You support me. I support you. We figure it out as we go. She took his hands. Liam, I love you. I love those boys. I'm not walking away from this family. But I also can't walk away from my career. I need both. And I think we're strong enough to make it work. What if it's too hard? What if the distance breaks us? What if it makes us stronger? What if we prove that love doesn't have to mean sacrifice, that I can have my dreams and have you too? Liam pulled her into his arms, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for pushing you away. I was just scared. I know. Me too. She pulled back to look at him. But we can be scared together. The boys are going to miss you so much. Then we tell them that missing someone means they matter, that love doesn't stop just because there's distance. Maya smiled through her tears. And we make every moment we have together count. When do you start? 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Liam kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips. Then we make these 6 weeks unforgettable. The door burst open, and both boys tumbled in, clearly having been dropped off early. They froze when they saw Maya and Liam embracing. You're back, Noah shouted. We thought you left forever. Eli added, launching himself at Maya. She caught him then. Noah gathering both boys close. I'm not leaving forever, but I need to talk to you two about something important. They all sat on the couch, the boys squished between Maya and Liam. Maya explained the job, the distance, what it would mean for their family. She watched their faces carefully, seeing the understanding dawn, the fear flicker, and then unexpectedly excitement. So you'll be saving even more kids? Eli asked. That's the plan. And we can visit you, Noah pressed. Every month at least, and I'll come home every weekend I can. Will you still be our family? Eli's voice was small. Maya's heart broke and mended in the same moment. Always. Distance doesn't change love. It just makes the time we have together more precious. Like when Daddy works night shifts, Noah said thoughtfully. We miss him, but then he comes home and makes us pancakes. Exactly like that. Both boys seemed to consider this. Then Eli said, Okay, but you have to promise to call us every day. Every single day, Maya promised. And send pictures, Noah added. Lots of pictures. And come to our birthday party. It's in 3 months. I wouldn't miss it for the world. They seemed satisfied with this. Noah leaned against Maya's shoulder, while Eli played with her fingers, a habit he'd developed. Are you scared? Eli asked suddenly. Terrified, Maya admitted. This is the biggest thing I've ever done. But you're brave, Noah said confidently, like a superhero. I don't feel very brave right now. That's what makes it brave, Liam said softly. Doing it even when you're scared. The next 6 weeks were a blur of preparation and stolen moments. Maya trained her replacement at Providence, packed up her apartment, and spent every spare moment with Liam and the boys. They made memories deliberately, fiercely trips to the zoo movie nights, dinners at their favorite restaurants. One week before she was scheduled to leave, Liam took her to the restaurant where they'd first met. Giovanni's had become their place, a reminder of how the best things in life often came from the most unexpected moments. Marco seated them at the same table, winking conspiratorially. The empty chair across from Maya felt like a ghost from another life. "Remember when you sat here alone?" Liam asked. "Waiting for someone who never showed? That feels like a lifetime ago. I still can't believe the boys actually tracked you down. The sheer audacity of it." Maya laughed. "They get that from their father. I prefer to call it determination. I call it insanity. But it's my favorite kind." Liam reached across the table and took her hand. "I need to tell you something. About that night. About why I really sent the boys. You told me you didn't want me to feel invisible. That's part of it. But there's more." He took a shaky breath. "The day Sarah died, we'd had a fight. She wanted me to request fewer hours, and I said we needed the money. She accused me of choosing work over family. I told her she was being dramatic." His voice broke. "Those were the last words I said to her. You're being dramatic. And then she died, and I've spent 3 years hating myself for it." "Liam, wait, let me finish. When I saw your messages, saw James standing you up, something in me just broke. I thought if I can save this one person from feeling what Sarah felt, from feeling invisible and unimportant, then maybe I'm not completely broken. Maybe I can still do something good." He squeezed her hand. "I didn't expect to fall in love with you. I didn't expect you to save me right back." Tears streamed down Maya's face. "You were never broken. You were healing." "I'm still healing. We both are." He pulled a small box from his pocket and set it on the table between them. Maya's breath caught. "Liam, what?" "It's not what you think. Open it." Inside was a delicate silver necklace with a small pendant, a compass. Maya lifted it out, and the metal caught the light. "So you always find your way home," Liam said quietly. "No matter where you are, no matter how far you go, you have a home here, with us." "I love it. I love you." Maya clasped it around her neck, feeling the weight of it settle against her heart. "There's an inscription, on the back of the compass." Maya flipped it over and read the tiny engraved words, "You matter." She completely broke down then, sobbing in the middle of the restaurant. Liam came around the table and held her while other diners pretended not to watch, giving them space for their moment. "I need you to promise me something," Liam said into her hair. "Promise me you won't make yourself smaller in Seattle, that you'll take up space and demand what you deserve, and remember that you matter." "I promise. If you promise to let me love you from a distance, to trust that this isn't the end of us, that it's just a new chapter." "I promise." On her last night in Portland, Maya stood in the boys' room watching them sleep. She'd read them 3 extra stories, sung their favorite song twice, and still hadn't wanted to leave. Now she traced their sleeping faces, with her eyes memorizing every detail. Liam appeared in the doorway. "They'll be okay." "Will they?" "They have you. Even from Seattle. They have your love, your calls, your visits. That's more than a lot of kids have from parents who live in the same house." He wrapped his arms around her from behind. "We're going to be okay, Maya. All of us." "How do you know?" "Because we chose this, because we're fighting for it, and because love like this doesn't just disappear because of distance." Maya turned in his arms. "I'm going to miss you so much." "Good. Miss me. Think about me. Count the days until you come home. And then come home and let me show you exactly how much I missed you back." They stood there in the doorway of the boys' room, holding each other in the dark, and Maya felt something settle in her chest. Peace. Certainty. The knowledge that she was making the right choice, Not the easy one, but the right one. The next morning, as Maya loaded the last box into her car, both boys clung to her legs, crying despite their promises to be brave. "It's only 6 days until I come back," Maya reminded them. "That's less than a week." "But it feels like forever," Noah sobbed. "Then we make every day count. You go to school, you help Daddy, you work on your homework. And before you know it, I'll be walking through that door again." "Promise?" Eli asked. "Promise." Liam pulled her aside while the boys said goodbye to Sophia, who'd come to see Maya off. "Call me when you get there. And Maya, thank you." "For what?" "For not giving up on us. For believing we're worth the distance. For showing the boys that women can chase their dreams and love their families. They need to see that. I need to see that." Maya kissed him one last time, pouring everything she couldn't say into it. Then she got in her car and drove away, watching in the rearview mirror as Liam and the boys stood on the sidewalk waving until she turned the corner and they disappeared from view. The drive to Seattle took 3 hours and felt like 3 years. Maya cried for the first hour, then forced herself to stop and focus on the road. Her phone buzzed constantly texts from the boys, from Liam, from Sophia, all reminding her she wasn't alone. When she finally pulled up to her new apartment building in Seattle, exhausted and emotionally wrung out, her phone rang. Video call from Liam. She answered to find all 3 of them crowded into the frame grinning. "You made it!" the boys shouted. "I made it," Maya confirmed, laughing through fresh tears. 6 days, Liam said. "We're already counting." "Me too." As Maya unpacked that night in her new empty apartment, the compass necklace resting against her heart, she thought about empty chairs and second chances, about twin boys bursting through doors with crumpled notes, about a man who'd learned to love again despite his fear. She thought about the family she'd found in the most unexpected way and the life she was building, not despite the distance, but because of it. Because real love didn't demand sacrifice. It demanded courage. The courage to grow, to chase dreams, to trust that the people who mattered would still be there when you came home. Maya Torres was finally taking up space, finally demanding what she deserved, finally understanding that she could be a brilliant nurse and a loving partner, and someday maybe a mother to 2 incredible boys. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't sitting at an empty table waiting for someone to show up. She was already home.